Well, good morning. My name is Dorene Petersen. I'm president of the American College of Healthcare Sciences.
Who are you?
This is Erika Yigzaw, Chief Institutional Officer, and we're here today to learn everything about lavender. So welcome to our open house. The interesting thing about distilling lavender is you might kind of think that when you distill, right, you're boiling water, right? So what happens when you boil water? You make steam, right? So you might kind of think that the steam liquefies whatever it is in the plant that makes the oil, right? And that's a very common belief. But actually what happens, I want to show you this. See this photograph here? This is a close-up of a lavender leaf, and that big purple thing in the middle is a trichome, and it's actually the cell that the aromatic material is inside. So what happens when the steam hits the plant material? It actually ruptures those cells, and the essential oil doesn't liquefy. The molecule is sort of dances along with the steam and goes for a journey.
So in France, Lavender angustifolia grows wild, above about 1,000 feet. And down at sea level, you get spiked lavender. Angustifolia doesn't grow wild down at sea level or at lower altitudes. Linalool acetate, which is the stuff in the true lavender that makes it relaxing and makes it good for burns. And in true lavender growing above 750 feet, it should be about 40 to 42%, right? So that's a large amount of the oil is made up of this linalool acetate, which is an ester. Now this lavandin, now different types of lavandin have been bred so they contain more, you know, of the relaxing compounds, but the primary constituent in this is a camphor. So about 40% of this essential oil is camphor, so it's reverse, and there's only about less than 1% of linalool acetate. So even though it looks like lavender, it smells like lavender, it's just really a different plant. So most of your true angustifolias are going to be 12 to 18 inches, so they're not going to get any bigger than this. Your lavandins are going to be 24 to 36 inches. So that's your first thing you're going to look at if you have some lavender planted at home and you don't know which variety it is. If you've got a huge big bush like that, it's going to be a type of lavandin. Now the next thing you can do is look at the flowers. So they tend to be more compact. This one is actually quite long. It depends on the variety, but you can go ahead and strip off some flowers and crush them, and you can smell it, right? And lavender, I'm going to get each of you to do that. Don't pick a bee, but just pick off some flowers and crush them in your hands, and it smells really sweet.
So now what I want to do is show you how easy it is to make an infused oil. Now, some plants are not going to give their material, their aromatic constituents or their constituents to distillation. And you may have seen aromatic materials that are called absolutes. And frequently plants like jasmine and honeysuckle you will find as an absolute. And basically an absolute is a solvent extracted aromatic material. The only way to really get it out is to use a solvent or carbon dioxide. That's another potential solvent, which is actually really very safe but very technically challenging. Most solvents they use are things like hexane. You can get organic hexane, so it can still be an organic production. Once they soak the botanical in the hexane, the aromatic material that comes off that contains a lot of fats and waxes. That's usually called a concrete, and it's very hard. They take that, they volatilize off the fats and waxes, and what you're left with is the absolute, which is the aromatic constituents from that plant. Now an absolute is never as liquid as an essential oil, but it's definitely more liquid than a concrete, which is really solid because it has the fats and waxes. So even though when we're doing an infused oil, we're not doing a solvent extraction, it's a similar process in that we're letting the plant sit in a solvent And in this particular instance, the solvent is going to be apricot kernel oil. And then when you have healed an area, this is where the infused oil comes into play. This is terrific to add, you know, as a anywhere the skin is particularly dry or damaged, or is healing but, you know, sealed. This is a terrific thing to make. So I'm just